recorded. All righty. Hello, friends. I'm Susanna Masseri, a psychic medium, author, and former end-of-life doula, and you have landed on Metaphysical Hippie Chicks 2.0. If you're new to our podcast, welcome. If you are a returning listener, welcome back, and we thank you all for your support. I'm here with my besties, Annalisa Bastiani, a psychic medium, actor, and singer.
Hello.
And Terry Scalia, an ET experiencer with inherent medium and channeling abilities. And today we are going to conduct a long-distance investigation into some occurrences in Terry's home in Seattle. And I'd like to mention that this is an older home built in,
I believe, 1932.
Okay. And this is on land. Of course, all of our land is on native land, but this area in particular, especially in the Pacific Northwest, has a lot of different energy. It has a lot of really great energy to work with. And so we're going to investigate and what this might be. But before we begin, I just want to preface our reading and our investigation with a disclaimer, and that readings are not a substitute for legal, medical, or psychiatric advice, nor do they replace professional, electrical, or structural inspections. So are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right. So there are, just to cover our bases, there are potential factors to consider in the investigation and the reading. One is electromagnetic fields, which can be faulty wiring, devices around the house, any kind of proximity to these large electrical towers. I'm not sure what they're called. Anything like that. Mold. I'm sure you've had house inspections before your house was bought, right, Terry?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
No mold.
And mold, which can cause visual hallucinations, carbon monoxide, which may produce ghost-like symptoms, and infrasound, low-frequency sounds that can induce feelings of dread. So I think we can pretty much rule all of those out. Right?
Or we could just add schizophrenia to that.
I'm kind of concerned that my entire life is based on mold at this moment.
Are we just crazy with hallucinations and not mediums at all?
Exactly.
So the purpose of the investigation is that we're going to begin by asking the house what it has to say, and we will explore whether it feels like a deceased person, residual imprint, a nature or land spirit, an energetic buildup, Terry's own energy, or any extraterrestrial connections, which is what I personally think it is. But we will check out all of those and we'll see what we feel. And it's important, in my opinion, for anyone doing investigations or readings, it's important to ask, in this case, Terry's home, because it is an extension, the home is an extension of everyone's identity. And if you have other people living in the home, then you have all of the identities in one space, sharing energy in that space. And the home is an extension of who we are, and it has its own consciousness. And so it is important to ask the home, or if you're working on healing, to ask the body of the person that you're working on. Ask the body what you need to know. So that is how I work. And so let's start out with a deceased person. And so do you want to go first, Annalisa?
Sure. If we're looking for a deceased person or just scanning, I'm not feeling a lot. I am feeling a male kind of in the distance, though. I don't feel like it's someone necessarily who stays there all the time, and someone who's extremely quiet and doesn't want to be seen necessarily. So I'm not sure. I mean, that alone tells me he's not the one making the noises in your house. Different time period of, I'm going to say 20s, 30s, even earlier could be. Doesn't feel Native American, feels more European. actually. And I'm seeing like that newsboy cap, but it's very shy. That's what I'm getting right now.
Okay.
Susanna?
Thank you. Do you want me to give you a little bit of a background as far as what's been going on in the house before we go any further, or do you want to just do your readings and then we'll talk about it later?
Let's go through this list.
Okay.
And then we can talk about what's been going on in the house.
Okay.
Cool.
I agree with you, Annalisa. I don't feel a whole lot of activity within the house from deceased people. Mm-hmm. I do feel that presence that you're talking about, but I feel that it's in the distance. It's not like present in the home.
I agree. It seems like I see him, but I only see him like I'm looking at somebody far away.
Yeah. He seems very far away. You know what I'm getting is that he used to live in the area during that time frame that you just mentioned, and he's just attracted to all of our energy and what we're doing today, and is just curious. I think he's just stopping by and taking a look at what's going on. I'm getting goosebumps, all on my arms and on my legs. So I think we're both right. Yeah. I think it's just, and I don't want to call him a looky-loo because I think he deserves more respect than that, because I believe he was a person that was very finely dressed and had very good manners and was probably important in the community, but he was very quiet, had a very gentle, I think he feels like he has a very gentle spirit, and that he was a very gentle man. Wow. Okay, cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Residential imprint. I'm not getting anything on that.
Neither am I.
Nature or land spirit.
I get that outside, but not inside.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I do too. Energetic buildup. I don't get that either.
I don't think, no.
Not at all.
That doesn't feel at all clogged to me.
Terry's own energy and causing what's going on in the house. No.
I don't get that she's causing it, but I get that she's amplifying it. You know what I mean? Like, I think her presence, just her abilities kind of amplify stuff around her.
Yeah, I think the energy of the area, the house, and Terry's energy matches.
Yeah.
Same frequency. So this is an opportunity for you, Terry, to match those energies and be doing what you're supposed to be doing. And you know what that is.
I know.
Someone's being called out.
Busted.
I know.
All right. So now let's get to the nitty gritty, which is any extraterrestrial connections. Bingo.
God, said that,
ding,
I got
ding,
a
ding.
shiver. Yeah. Wow. 4 or 5.
4
or 5.
Yeah. E.T. family.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
E.T. family. And you're familiar with them.
Yep.
They came through for you here in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you pick up, Annalisa?
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to get that number. And I wasn't expecting to feel it as soon as you mentioned it. They kind of dropped in. Mm-hmm. But it's a sweet feeling. It's a really, like you said, family loving feeling. I wouldn't be surprised if you were a part of their lineage in some way.
Absolutely. Anything else that you're picking up?
I know nothing about ETs. This is really wild for me.
Okay. All right.
Well, you nailed it, Annalisa.
Did I really? Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Very loving feeling. There is a prankster among them, is what I'm getting. And it's kind of an adorable thing. And it's going to be noticeable when you need guidance. Boy, I just got that. So it's a purpose. There's a purpose to it.
So what do you mean by prankster?
I feel like one of them is, a wink and a nod, like wants to get your attention, not scare you, just get your attention. And it's usually around times when maybe you are either lost or literally looking for something. I mean, it's a feeling of what direction do I go in kind of thing. And they just want to remind you that they're there.
All right. So what kind of things have been going on in the house?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I have a little Christmas tree it's tiny. It's like this big, and it sits on my fireplace hearth, and it has batteries, and then you just turn it on and it lights up or whatever. And I was sitting watching TV one day a few weeks ago, and the little Christmas tree was not on. And then all of a sudden it came on, and the lights were just blinking. And I looked at it and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And right after that, my CD player came on, which is electrical, not, not obviously not battery. And then I thought that was, so when my CD player came on, then the screen on my TV went to the DVD player rather than what I was watching. So that was weird. And then I had to walk over there and turn it off. And then I turned my little Christmas tree off. And then the next day, my Christmas tree came on again when it was not, when I did not have it on. And so the Christmas tree has come on twice. The DVD player has come on, I think, just once. And then yesterday, I was feeling like there was someone here. I felt, it was a weird kind of feeling. It was almost like, and I've had this feeling before, and I don't really understand what it is, but it's almost like I'm in two different places at the same time. Like I have this reality, but then part of me had a feeling of a completely different reality, and that was going in and out all day yesterday, and it wasn't scary or anything. It was just a little odd, and I wished that I could stay more in that other reality so I could see what it was and what was going on. I had good feelings about it. Whatever that reality was, I had really good feelings about it. And then last night when I went to bed, I felt like there was someone in my room that was watching me, and there was no one there. Not like before when there was the ET standing at the foot of the bed, but kind of like I had a feeling like I was being watched, but not in a bad way, like a creeper or something, like, somebody looking through my window or whatever. But I did feel a presence in the room. So something's been stirred up lately.
Okay. What room is that behind you?
This is my office/guest room.
Okay. That back corner where the large picture is above the sofa?
Here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That corner, I'm feeling a lot of energy. It's like an energy pocket back in that corner. What's on the other side of the wall? Because it extends.
This wall?
Yes.
Outside.
All right. The energy on the other side of the wall is very strong. And it's not this energy pocket that I'm feeling, this really strong sense of energy is not, this particular pocket does not go through the whole house. It's especially strong in that back corner. That, if you decided to, that would be a good place to set yourself up for meditation.
Well, this is the room that I do my meditations in.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So
cool.
That back corner has a lot of energy to it.
Okay.
And so if there's any way that you can, sit on the sofa back there or pull the sofa not forward, but slide it along the wall where you can have something back there where you can sit up, your spine can be straight to meditate. And you already know that when we meditate, it should be in the same place at the same time. Doesn't matter whether it's 10 minutes or half an hour. 10 minutes is fine if people are reluctant to meditate. Not everybody likes it like me.
It's not easy.
I would be one of those that is not very good at, I said I would be one of those people that's not very good at consistency.
Yeah, me too. I can't even.
It's hard. Sorry.
Oh, I can't even take my vitamins every day. I forget.
That's
I know it's not going to work with meditation.
Yeah, I can't turn my mind off. My mind is like a little monkey, and it just won't stop.
Yeah, well, that takes practice.
At a carnival.
Too.
I know, but I've been doing this for like 2 years now. It's like, come on. I think I have ADHD or something.
No, maybe you're lost cause.
Maybe I am schizophrenic. I don't know.
Hey, there we go. Problem solved.
Yep. Chalk it up to mental illness.
Yet again. Here we go.
All right. Let me, don't make me laugh too much. I'll lose my connection. All right. So everything that's been going on in the house is definitely, both Annalisa and I feel that it's absolutely ET related.
I do have one caveat.
Go ahead.
Though.
Go ahead.
Just to interrupt. The guy came up right up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder very, very, skittishly, and is apologizing because he's one of the people that is kind of watching you. And it's not like, again, it's not an everyday thing. It's not like a creepy thing. It's just that when it's quiet around you, or even when it's dark around you, he gets interested and is allowing himself to kind of get closer. So that's who you're feeling when it's, the non-ET thing that you said, because you didn't see him, like the ET person that you saw. I think that's him, because he's come right up and said he's so sorry. It's very cute. It's very sweet.
Oh, but it's like the woman that was in your townhome that I told you about, that she had lived there previously and she was just kind of watching over you and taking care of you. And the strongest point was in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Back by the pantry. I could see it, but I forgot the word.
Sounds like.
But what I'm also getting from this guy is that he's attracted to your energy. And so I wanted to mention, too, for people who are not completely immersed in this kind of lifestyle like we are, is that when people show up, it doesn't mean that if you take the fear out of it and understand that people are drawn to your energy, and it doesn't mean that it's somebody negative or evil or anything like that. We have people walking through this house all the time, and we have different portals, and like I said last week, portals move and they open and close. And our portals in the house are in certain areas, and it may be the closet, it may be the walkway between the TV room and the kitchen, or at times it's been the whole house. But people are attracted to people's energy. And so this gentleman is attracted to you, and not in a creepy way. That's why I said not in a creepy way.
You can probably, I don't know, you can negotiate if you want, but
damn,
that was not the first response I got. And he thinks that's funny.
So he's
making a spirit blush is my goal.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from him is that if there's anything that he can help you with, he's willing to help you with. He doesn't know what, but he likes you. He likes your energy. He likes the three of us being together. And he's saying that our energies mix very, very well. And through that mixture, we send off a vibration that's much stronger than each of us individually. And so he enjoys that. He enjoys seeing people in the living doing something with their energy, with their minds, and with their abilities. And what I'm getting from him is that he wished during his time frame it would have been great if he had this kind of knowledge available to him. But this was not part of his reality. It wasn't really a strong part of the reality of that time. And so he's saying that he's honored to be here, and that we're talking to him, and that he can finally communicate with someone that's in the living. And so he's very appreciative, and he's very honored.
And I'm honored to have him here.
He's lovely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is he cute?
He is kind of cute. To me, he's kind of cute.
I see him with a hat on. Do you see him with a hat?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
Okay. All right. A very proper gentleman.
Dapper.
Yes. Yes.
Dapper, yeah.
Yeah. So with all the activity going on, because I'm seeing the same number of, I just think, I think ETs and extraterrestrials we should have a better name.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're higher beings.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And so anyway, I'm getting the same number. There's sometimes 6. There's one that comes in and out. But this is your family, Terry. This is your ET family, the family that you're going to return to after you leave this life.
I get that.
And they are, oh boy, they are working with the energy within your house. And so just their presence, whether you can feel them or not, their presence in the home is affecting the lights on that little Christmas tree, your CD player. It's not like they're purposely making those things go off or on. It's just their energy is affecting the energy of those things. All right. That's why our curio cabinet here in the house, it keeps going on by itself constantly. And it's not like, oh, let me work on this curio cabinet because I can manipulate the energy of this really great. It's just because the energy in the house, when they're here, it goes off. So this is your time, all right? And you need to wake up to them.
So what do you mean by wake up to them?
It's time because you have been so focused with your job and your life and things going on in your family that you still have that residual focus, which is now the past. Most of it is the past. And so you need to change your mindset and start working with the energies and don't put expectations on yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just allow whatever's going to happen. And so that's what I'm getting from them is that this is your time.
And I have been feeling that way as well. When I was living in Jacksonville, I was waiting for, and I knew in my heart that once I retired, that was going to be my time to do all of this. So, I've only been here since May and I'm still I'm settled in, but not fully feeling like that this is like I'm like fully settled in, like not just physically settled in, but I mean, emotionally settled in and all of that.
Sure.
So I'm almost there, but I really do feel like something is going to happen like soon with me.
Now, what I got in Jacksonville when they came through and what I'm getting now is that there's one figure. I'm not going to say that he's the spokesperson of the group, but he's the one that's going to be your source in channeling. You know what I mean?
Was that the one that was in my bedroom or a different one?
No, I believe it was the same one.
Oh, okay.
There was one that came through when we were sitting in your living room, so he came through with the rest. And I don't remember the conversation because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
But he's the one that came through and kind of said, this is, we're your ET family, blah, blah, blah.
In your living room?
Yours.
Oh, in mine. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Because I had done a promptu reading and because I felt them coming through and they said that they were going to work with you or whatever. And it was your ET family. So he's going to be your source, just like Abram is Tom's source. Now, Abram has a full crew and so does this ET who's going to be your source. So it's your family. It's your ET family, so they're going to be in the background kind of, but he's going to be the main one speaking.
He's been on my mind a lot lately. So much so that I have this feeling that I need to draw him. I need that visual. I want to draw him. And I mean, I've got some artistic drawing talents, I guess you could say.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I just need to, I need to draw him.
What he's saying, what I'm getting now from that, with you saying that, is that draw with your feelings more than drawing from what you see in your mind. Draw more with your feelings because every time that you are going to draw this source, you might get a different picture.
Really?
To see how that works out.
Okay.
Because what I'm getting from him is that you start out with a drawing and as you progress, your drawings are going to progress. And so your image and what you feel he looks like. And let me make this clarification also for everyone. Everyone, including us as human beings, we both possess both male and female energy.
Right.
And the same with these higher beings. They have both male and female. But if we feel more comfortable with a male energy, then that's what will come through. If we feel more comfortable with a female energy, it will come through more like a female energy.
Well, I have two of them, right? I've got the female that was outside the spacecraft back in the 80s. And then she has showed up a few times actually in my life over the years. And then I had this male that showed up in my bedroom. And that's the first time I had seen him. And he was pretty cool. Well, they're both pretty cool.
Do you want to go through your story?
Yeah.
When you went on the aircraft? I mean, the aircraft, listen to that. It's not an aircraft.
Coffee, tea. It's like a magazine.
Yeah.
Oh, and your experience on the plane, seeing the Tic Tac.
Oh, I thought I had. Didn't we talk about that last time on the last episode?
I don't
I'm too
remember
senile
that.
to remember.
No.
Oh, I thought
Do
I
you
had.
remember that, Annalisa?
Oh, maybe I was.
No, I
Maybe
said, like I said, I'm she could very well have, but I'm seeing now.
No, I don't think you talked about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and this story will validate Annalisa's, lineage statement that she gave
Cool.
there.
Can I ask a question before we start?
Yes.
Do you have things also disappear and then reappear?
I can't recollect.
Okay. Just curious because I
Like
feel like
that.
there's one that likes to do that or will do that. Not sure why that came through.
An ET person, because I also feel like Noah's around. Noah was a prankster, and so Noah is my son's half brother, my ex-husband's son with his next wife. Noah was 15 when he took his own life.
That's the essence. Okay, so I've since I'm new to the ET world, I think I mixed the two, and I think Noah's the prankster. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, he's a prankster. And when the lights were going off or coming on the Christmas tree, he was the first one I thought of. Like, Noah, what are you doing? Because he was a little prankster. He's just a sweet soul.
Yeah.
Absolutely adorable. Absolutely adorable. I miss him so much.
Around.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, I think so too. So let's go ahead and I'll go into the ET story. I was not very into the ET stuff. I didn't really know that much about it back in the 80s. I started having these really weird experiences where I would wake up in the middle of the night and be paralyzed. Couldn't open my eyes, but I could see bright light through my eyelids. So I thought it was morning or daytime. And when I was able to come out of it, it was pitch black in my room. And then I'm not going to go into all of that. There's a lot involved in that, but that kind of leads up to their first contact with me was showing up in my house in, I think it was 1980, early 80s, 1983, 80, somewhere between 81 and 83. And then I was a single mom. I had two little girls, my two oldest daughters. They were really little when this was going on. And there was a lot of stuff going on in the house that I thought was a ghost. I had no idea that it was ET related. Then I remarried and had another child, my youngest daughter, who lives here in Seattle. And when she was about 8 months old, I want to say, I woke up in the middle of the night and I had this really strong urge to go outside because they were coming and they were my family and I hadn't seen them in a really long time and they were coming to visit and I was just so excited. So I got up out of bed and I went in my daughter's room and I picked her up out of her crib and we walked outside. And I'm standing on the curb looking up at the sky, and if you've ever seen Northern Lights where the lights just kind of swirl in and out, it was like every color of the rainbow in the sky. It was just absolutely gorgeous. And I knew that was a signal to me that they were here. My next memory is standing in the middle of a field, an open field surrounded by trees. And I looked around and there were other people standing there with me. In particular, I noticed an elderly couple, probably in their 80s. And they're standing there and everybody's in their pajamas. I'm in my pajamas. They're in their pajamas. And they're just, they almost kind of have this look on their face like they're sleepwalking, like they're not completely awake. And I didn't really think anything of it other than just, wow, I was just really excited that I was getting ready to see my family. And then I looked off in the distance and there was a spacecraft sitting on the ground. And I could see that there was a being standing outside of the spacecraft and very tall. And then everyone else noticed the spacecraft as well. And then we all started walking towards it. As I'm getting up closer to it, I start feeling this overwhelming sense of unconditional love. And the closer that I got, the more intense it got. And by the time I got up to the spacecraft, I mean, it was so overwhelming that I didn't even know what to do with it. It was like there are no human words that can explain the intensity of that unconditional love. It was absolutely the most beautiful thing I have ever felt in my life. The being that was standing there was a female. She was the same being that had visited me a few years earlier in my bedroom. And she had no expression on her face. She was just standing there. She didn't even move. I mean, she almost like a statue. But at the same time, she was the one that was exuding all of that beautiful, unconditional love. So we all go aboard the spaceship. We all file in, and I'm looking around. Well, actually, years later, I did a regression. A hypnotherapist regressed me, and I was able to see more of inside the craft and other things as well. But got in the craft, and we walked down like a narrow hallway. And what was interesting is when I looked up, that I couldn't, it went so high that I couldn't even see, it was almost like it was just black. It was like looking up into the sky. It was so, like, the spacecraft itself was, a normal, I don't know, maybe 20 feet tall or whatever, but like 50 feet wide. But I couldn't see a ceiling. It was weird. Like, it was looking into the vastness. And we walked into this room, and it was a small room, but it was circular. And in the middle of this room was like a stand or like a pedestal or something like that. And there was a really large, what do you call it? Crystal, like, what's the clear crystal? What's it called? My mind just went completely blank. Huh? Quartz, thank you. Big, large quartz crystal. And along the edge of the wall was like a bench seating, and it was attached to the wall. And that was the only thing that was in this room. And we all filed in, and we kind of had to walk around the quartz crystal and then sat down. And I walked in, and I had my daughter on my hip, and walked in and found a seat and sat down. And then I'm watching everyone else come into the room. And then I remembered that my husband was in his bed, or is still in bed. And I panicked, and I felt like, oh my God, if he wakes up and finds us gone, he's going to be freaking out. And hardly had I gotten that thought out of my head when the female was standing in the doorway, and she said to me telepathically, she said, "Do not worry, he will be fine." And as soon as she said that, my whole body just completely calmed down. I was like completely at peace. And then my whole attitude was, let's get this going. Let's do this thing. And the next memory that I have is waking up in my bed the next day. What I got years later during this regression was that they had jump started me. They called it jump starting, so that I could have a spiritual awakening. And that is what happened like a few days after that incident happened. Well, first of all, when I woke up the next morning, I was in shock, right? I was in absolute utter shock. I didn't even know what to do with that event. I can't even tell, back in the 80s, who are you going to tell? Who are you going to, people are going to think I'm crazy. But anyway, so I lived with that, and then not knowing what to do with that information for a long, long time. Then a few years after that regression that I had, let me tell you about so that regression that I had with the hypnotherapist, he was taking me through the whole thing because I wanted to remember more of what happened. And I was told that that's where I got the information that I had been jump started. But also when I woke up that next morning after that event, and I was remembering what had happened the night before, and when I thought about the being standing outside of the spacecraft, I couldn't see her face. Like when you're watching like a news show and they blur out someone's face because they don't, to protect our identity. That's what I saw when I tried to remember what she looked like. So when I was going through that regression, I was able to see her eyes. So it was almost like she and I were like nose to nose, and I could see her eyes right in front of me. And they were not necessarily shaped like ours. They were more round, but they were absolutely the most beautiful crystalline blue colors that I had ever seen in my life. Like I could almost see shards of just crystal clear, different shades of blue in her irises. And I remember when that vision came to me, all of a sudden, I started crying. And the hypnotherapist, he was concerned because he didn't know whether I was having some kind of traumatic thing or what was going on. And I remember him saying, "It's okay, you're safe, everything's okay." And I'm just bawling my eyes out. And I said, "No, you don't understand. It's so beautiful. She's so beautiful." And then I explained to him that I'm looking into her eyes. eyes. Just amazing. So after that incident happened, it was like several years later, I had done another regression, and it was actually a downloaded past life regression session that I had downloaded off of Amazon. I think it was off of Amazon, and it was Dick Sutphin is his name, and he takes you into an ultra deep state of relaxation. I mean, I was just curious, right? I was like, oh, I want to see what kind, I wasn't thinking ET. I was thinking more along the lines of how, it'd be fun to go back and see a past life, a human past life. Maybe I was the, queen of whatever. I didn't know. I just wanted to, just out of curiosity. So I downloaded this thing and I put my headphones on and I'm listening to it, and he's kind of, he really, like 30 minutes is just getting you way down deep. And then he came to a point where he said, open your eyes and look at your feet. So I did, and I had like these boots on, and then he said, okay, lift your eyes up and look around the room. And I did. And then I kind of stopped hearing him after that point. It was like I didn't hear anything he said for the rest of the time. When I lifted my eyes and looked, I was on a spaceship, which is not where where I thought I was going to go. I was on a spaceship, and the woman that was standing outside that spacecraft back in the 80s was standing in front of me, and we were having a telepathic conversation. I was an ET. I was one of them. And she and I were having a conversation about me volunteering for a special program that they had where I would be born on Earth so that I could work one-on-one with humans and help them to evolve, right? So she is cautioning me that this is going to be very difficult. And she wanted to make sure that I understood what this entailed, because I would have to experience a lot of good things, but a lot of bad things too, because I have to be able to empathize with the human race, right? I have to be able to understand what humans go through. So I was going to be taking on a lot of, especially the negative stuff. And I said, yeah, I'm good with it. Let's do this, and so she said, okay. We left the room and we walked down a hallway, and we went into a really huge room, almost like an airplane hangar. It was just massive. Oh, and by the way, on the ship, we were up in space, and there was a window next to me. And when I looked out the window, I could see Earth. Just this big. Did I raise my hand? That's weird.
You did.
I didn't do that, by the way. I didn't even touch my mouse.
I know your hands are right. I saw your hands when it happened.
That's one of the things that Zoom will do for you unless you turn it off. You can you can move your hands and balloons will go up, or hearts, or
I've never had that happen before. That was so weird. Okay, so anyway, I saw the Earth, and it was just absolutely gorgeous, and just hanging out in space. It was just so beautiful. So we walked down this hallway, and we go into this big room like a hangar, and there was this white, I'm pretty sure it was white, like egg-shaped, I call it a pod, like egg-shaped pod that was sitting there, and it could fit like one person, and two people couldn't fit in it. It had one seat in it, and we walked up to this pod, and the door opened, and I got in, and I'm sitting there in this seat. There's no instrumentation. There's nothing in front of me. There is just this really comfy seat, and I sit down, and then the door closes, and there's a window there, and I can see her on the other side, and she put her hand on the glass, and I put my hand on the glass, and she said to me telepathically, she said, we will always be with you. You are not doing this alone. We will be with you always. And I was cool with it. And then the pod started filling up with this liquid. And as soon as it got up to where it was over my head, now I am outside the spacecraft and I'm looking at the spacecraft. I'm just kind of floating in space. I guess maybe my consciousness or something was out there. And I'm looking at the spacecraft and I start seeing like hundreds of little tiny red sparks coming from the spacecraft, kind of like sparks from a fire, and they started floating towards Earth. And I knew at that moment that my soul, and my ET soul in that body on the spacecraft, was separating into hundreds of different lives. Each spark was a life. This was past, present, and future lives that were going to be going on at exactly the same time. Past, present, and future all at the same time. And they were all going toward Earth, and each one someone was going to take on a human body, a baby, be born. And I was one of those sparks. This body here is one of those sparks. Now, my real soul is still up on the ship and it's still in stasis. So this body plus hundreds of more bodies on the planet and the past, present, and future are all happening at the same time. So when you said that they're part of my lineage, when I say that they're my family, they are my family, because that is me. That is part of me, or I am part of it that is up on that spaceship right now. When I got out of the hypnosis, I was uncontrollable crying because my whole life made sense to me at that point, because I've been through some horrific things in my life, and it's amazing that I'm even alive right now because of all the horrible things. I mean, there's people that have had way worse things than me, but I've had a lot of horrible things happen to me, and that was all. I understood why now, because I had to take on all of this stuff in order for me to understand what a human goes through. So I'm crying and, I'm trying to process what just happened, because that is not what I expected. I expected to be the Queen of Sheba or something. And I ended up, on a spaceship. That was completely, I was in shock. After trying to process it for a while, I got on the Google, right, and asked Mr. Google, has anybody, trying to find someone that maybe had some kind of a similar experience, because I'd never heard of anyone getting into a pod and having their soul, and I couldn't find anything. So a while later, I don't know, a month, I went to go visit another hypnotherapist that I had heard about, or actually had met at a meetup group once. And I had made an appointment with him. And when I got there, I told him what had happened. And I asked him, have you ever heard of anybody having an experience like this before? And he said, yeah, I have. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, there's a lady in Jacksonville. This is when I was living in Jacksonville. There's a lady in Jacksonville who had a very similar experience that you did. And he said, I'll reach out to her and see if she wants to maybe meet with you and you guys can talk about it. And I was like, oh my God, this would be fabulous. So he did. And about a week later, I got an email from her and we met up and had lunch. And I told her about my experience. And she said, no, I think she told me her experience first. She told me her experience first. And it was like almost identical to the experience that I had. She got in a pod. She had somebody there that went with her and got her settled in. The difference between her and mine is that she didn't think she was on a spaceship. She may have been like on a planet or something, and that she really didn't want to go. She was very hesitant about going because she was afraid. And the person that was with her, told her that this is something that you chose to do and you need to follow through and everything's going to be okay. You're not going to be alone. We're not going to leave you. Same thing. And then she said, okay. And then she did it. Then I told her my story and we were both just like amazed. So it was validation for both of us that this really did happen, that there's a ET body up there that's connected to me. That's a part of me. So.
Yeah. And this woman has had a lot of her own personal challenges in this lifetime too.
Mm-hmm. She has a lot.
Amazing.
Yeah. I call her my soul sister.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that you guys were able to that is so cool. That is stuff that I have not, again, no much experience with ETs, but that whole story, that whole kind of embodiment of a lifetime, literally, that's kind of beyond what, this planet has, is amazing to me.
Yeah. And those are the beings that are wanting to work with me. So I just need to do it.
Yeah.
So it's my time.
Get on with it, girl.
I know. So I've had a lot more experiences than that, but that was the biggest, most profound one that I had. And, and then I also saw the tic tac outside of the airplane when I was flying from, Arkansas. I went to my mom's birthday or something. This was a few years ago. And I was flying home was when I lived in Jacksonville. I stopped at Atlanta. And then from Atlanta, fly to Jacksonville. And it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. And I'm on my last leg to Jacksonville. And I always get a window seat because because if there's something out there, I want to be able to see it. And I always when I get a window seat, I look out the window and I set an intention of, I'd really like to see you guys. Could you show yourself to me or whatever? And I've never had an answer to that until that day when I was sitting there. I made my intention like I normally do, and then I just forgot it. And I'm looking off into the distance and I see this teeny tiny little plane way far away, and it's got the little contrail that's coming off, and I'm just kind of watching it. And then all of a sudden, and I'm sitting right, like not directly over the wing, but a little bit behind the wing. And all of a sudden this tic-tac shaped silver, perfectly, like no lines on it at all. It was just this, no windows, no nothing. It was just this tic-tac shaped metal object just appeared. It didn't fly in. It just appeared. And it's right there in the window. And it's probably, when I'm looking out the window, it's probably about this big. So it was, I don't know how far away it was because you can't judge distances very well when you're, looking out of an airplane. But I'm telling you, it was probably, well, for those who can't see the video here, I don't know. What is that? Like a foot, 10 inches?
Yeah.
And so it's not like teeny tiny way off in the distance. I saw this thing. No, this thing was like huge, and it showed up. It just popped in, and my brain is trying to process what I'm looking at. And then it started to move backwards toward the back of the plane, and it went a little bit, and I turned my head to watch it. And then all of a sudden it was gone. It didn't shoot off anywhere.
Wow.
It just completely disappeared.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to stand up and just scream, did anybody else see that? But then I thought, they're gonna land this plane and haul me off on a straitjacket. So I decided against that.
Yeah.
But that was them. That was that, here we are. We're here.
Yeah. Tom and I have been, go ahead, Annalisa.
No, I just said, and have been for a while.
A long time, thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Tom and I have been watching the new documentary, The Age of Disclosure. So good.
Really?
So good. Prime you can either rent it or buy it right now because it's new, and of course they have to make their money. I went ahead and bought it. I am so glad. It's so worth the money.
It's not just the same old stuff.
It is not. You'll see some of the same people, like Lou
Elizondo.
Yes. What they have done to his life is amazing. It's very scary how they tried to silence him.
Oh, the government.
Yes. There's so many people that have come forward. This is so well put together. It's not like any other UFO documentary that we've seen. And there's so many people in Congress. And you know what really surprised me is Marco Rubio. I'm not a fan of his, but he has been an advocate for disclosure.
Really?
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. And it's just very, very good, very well put together. So many people have come forward, and it's amazing that it's not the government, it's basically the military industrial complex and the corporations, the military corporations. It's not the military, it's the corporations that have become very involved with the UAP recovery system and just locking down everything and making people feel like they're crazy or discredit them. And the lengths that they have gone through to do that is astounding. And we're the only country that really does that really harps on that maybe allegedly will do away with people.
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly, make them disappear. And the lengths that they go to protect what's called the legacy program, where any of our officials, our elected officials who try to get information about that, they're locked out. It's just the depth of secrecy is astounding.
I don't believe that disclosure is going to come from the government. I think disclosure is going to come from us.
Yeah. I mean, this documentary is a big step.
Yeah.
This documentary is a big step, but we're inching. This is something that it's not even baby steps. It's smaller than baby steps that disclosure is happening. And for us, it may not happen in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. So I think we have a long way to go.
Clearly we do.
Yeah, but we've come a long way too.
Absolutely.
So if you can, watch it.
Yeah, I will. You told me about that a couple of days ago. So I did find it on there, and I was really skeptical because I was thinking, and whenever something like this new comes out and I watch it, it's the same stuff.
I know.
You
I know.
Maybe said a different way a little bit, but it's the same. They started Roswell, da-da-da. You know, it's like, I'm so sick of hearing that. Tell me something new.
They don't harp on that at all. I mean, very little about Roswell. They just kind of state that that's kind of when we became very involved, which was around 1947.
Yeah, 10 years before I was born.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and apparently, according to my stepmother, my dad was he was a pilot in World War II. He became a commercial airline pilot, and she told me that he had seen plenty of UFOs in his flying history.
Whoa. Just stuff he couldn't identify, like, you know, multiple. That's incredible.
And things he couldn't talk about. They weren't allowed to talk about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like my dad. My dad was in the Air Force, and he worked for SAC, Strategic Air Command.
Oh, I know what SAC is. You can have them after 9/11. I used to see them all the time.
Yeah, so he never talked about his work at all, and so I don't know what he did.
Sure.
Wow.
Interesting stuff, huh?
It is, and we should continue.
Whole new thing for me.
Oh, I can't believe it's a whole new thing for you, Annalisa.
I know.
I've read about it and I've seen documentaries and stuff on UFOs, but I've never had I have only had one of my experiences, I think I shared with you last time with the string of lights, but have not encountered them except when I read Susie. I had not done a reading with someone where one came in and it was like, okay, I'm not talking to a human. This is quite interesting.
Wow. Okay. I didn't hear that story. That's cool.
Yeah. And it was like only a few months ago, where we were like exchanging readings with each other and she was telling me about, updating her life and stuff. It was just a reunion kind of call that we had. And then all of a sudden I'm like, this is not a human. And I'm thinking, God, Annalisa, you've gone off the deep end with this one. And she understood what I was saying. I was like, thank God.
Do you remember what you told me?
I don't.
I don't remember,
I never remember
what you told me either. I know that it was right at the time.
It was something to do with an actual being. And I think it was a female feeling being.
Uh-huh.
And I was seeing, and of course the images that they put in my head are just so I can understand. They're not going to be like literal images,
right.
I assume. That's how it works with the people who passed on. It's just to get me to say certain things. So this appeared like a not so tall, not extremely tall, because I've heard that there are some extremely tall beings. This was more of I guess shorter version, and almond eyes and the kind of almost triangular, soft triangle face, and just a really big loving feeling. That's what I remember. I don't remember if I said anything, if they relayed a message, which they must have, but I don't remember it. But I was like, wow, hi, nice to meet you. Didn't know I can do this.
Yeah, you were right on too, whatever it was. I don't remember, but you were right on.
I remember. You were right on when you contacted. I was telling you I had an experience with a spirit that was so in my space that I could feel him like hug me. It was an incredible, Teo is still with me. And I thought, this is in my mind. Am I just doing this just to make myself feel better? And she not only described what he looked like, but she described the tricorn hat he was wearing and the fact that he kind of was very majestic and looked like, for lack of a better comparison, a Three Musketeer kind of outfit. And I was like, oh my God, that's him. You're right. How did you do that? Not that I've known you for 20 years and that we're both mediums, but how did you do that?
That's so funny. All right. Well,
yeah.
How do you?
I was just gonna give you a compliment, Sue. I have heard her do some pretty amazing readings for people that just brought people to tears. She's so good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's continue this conversation next time. It'll strictly be ET conversation.
Cool.
Sounds good.
I'm wondering, should we ask people if they have any disturbances in their homes, if they want to contact us, or if they have ET experiences? Should I say,
sure,
please contact us?
Sounds cool.
Okay. All right. So if anyone listening, if you have a disturbance going on in your house and you don't know what's going on, and you have not contacted a medium or anyone who can give you some kind of insight as to what's going on in your home, you may contact us at sue@mediumunplugged.com. And if you've had any ET experiences, we would love to hear from you. And contact us at that same email address, sue@mediumunplugged.com. We also have a new Facebook page called Hippie Chicks, Metaphysical Hippie Chicks 2.0 podcast. So look for us. Please follow, please share, please like, all the rest. It really helps with the algorithms, our ratings, everything. And the more that you do that, the more that we can reach people. And so we bid you farewell.
Thank you so much, guys. This was fun.
Thank you.
Enjoy your life. And until next time, this is Metaphysical Hippie Chicks 2.0. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.